Well, hello, Mad Scrappers. I am back with another Fun Fold Friday. Yay! Actually, you're going to be seeing this while I will not be Fun Fold Fridaying because I'm going to Tahoe, so Lake Tahoe for the weekend. So it's our annual trip with my sister, my brother-in-law, and my niece, and Steve and I. We go up there and they ski and we don't. I think this year we've determined we are going inner tubing just to play in the snow somewhat. But other than that, we just hike down to the lake because the timeshare we stay at is like a mile away and it's a beautiful walk and the lake is gorgeous that time of year. So we do that and then we, go through Heavenly and we do shopping and we just hang out, and just chill. So, but meanwhile, I do need to try to get a video up for you guys. So I decided to go ahead and get this done. And this is this week's Fun Fold. It's a really cute little easy card. And I wanted to bring it to you just because it was like, oh, this is cool. I mean, we've seen different variations of this, but I like this one. So I'm doing it right now. And if you've seen it before, then I'm sorry, but I can't remember what I've done. I can barely remember what I had for dinner last night. What did I have for dinner last night? Oh, I don't know. But anyway, give me a second. I'm going to bring in all the pieces and we're going to get to putting this card together because it's an easy one. Be right back. The upside to being in my total cut 1, cut 10 mode that I am right now is that I'm organized for this one. I've already done all the cutting for you. I've bagged it all up because I'm taking it with me to Tahoe. And and you guys, well, what else are you going to do, Myra, while you're in Lake Tahoe? Tahoe. Gosh, you wonder what I have on my mind? No, but let me show you. This is what's going also with me to Lake Tahoe. I'm going to bag all of these up. These are all the cards you've been seeing me make that I didn't finish all. I did cut 10, so now they need to be all assembled. So while we're sitting there talking or watching a movie or whatever, I'm going to be assembling cards. I'm going to get as many of those done as I can. Do not put it past me to be assembling a card on the plane, all right? Just saying, because we are flying up to Sacramento. And then from there, we're going to pick up our rental car. And we're going to go have dinner with the girls. And then I'm going to have dinner with one of my daughters, Olivia. And then we're going to go and stay at Tatiana on the property. Because, oh my gosh, we got to visit. And we'll get up in the morning and we'll walk the property again. I just love it. The 4 acres there. So anyway, so be that as it may, you guys don't care. I remember. So let's get cracking on putting this together. So let me tell you what I did. So you know, I have 2 pieces I cut. And they are both literally 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I mean, if you glued them, if you put them together, hey, there's a card. But no, this is going to be the base. And I'm going to do this one. I intended it to be this way and then totally forgot and did something else instead because there you are on my own special Dingledorf. So this is my card base right here. This is my side panel here. And I need to pull out my little, whoops, where'd it go? Where'd it go? My 6, so much for organized. Where did it just go? I just had that piece of paper. Hold on, I'll be right back. This will be the one thing you'll see me do on camera. Almost everything else I've already done off camera just to save time. But the requirements of this card are 2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card bases in either the same color or different colors. I'm doing opposite colors because I want to for this, and we'll see how it looks, okay? So we're going to go in left field. And then you do need one other in white. In this case, if you want to do more or less what I did, then I have a white card panel, again, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You need a scrap piece of blue paper I used for the sentiment. So this is just one of those panels, and I'm going to be slicing it off. I'm using a 6 by 6 pad of paper, and the paper I am using is the Winter Sparkle collection. So I haven't pulled out all the sheets because I will be pulling them all and trimming them down to size to what I need. And then any kind of, let me take it back. You need one of these because this will go on the inside for your sentiment. And I cut this, if I remember correctly. Let me look at here at my measurements. How come I did? Oh yeah, 2 1/4. No, yeah, 2 1/4, 2 1/2 by 4. I believe is this inside panel, and this is going to go on the inside for us to be able to write our sentiment. Okay, I grabbed 2 because this is like the super thin paper, so you don't even realize you're grabbing 2. So I'll set that aside. And then I'm doing this winter. I'm still in winter theme. It's still cold. I'm going up where it's even going to be colder. So I'm still in snowflake, winter mode at least for the rest of this month, which is only a few days away, and then maybe I'll start doing some spring stuff like everybody else is probably already doing. But you know me, I march to the beat of my own Mad Hatter, or Mad Scrapper. So, I cut out 1 snowflake to add to this card. So for starters, I've got to take this piece of paper and I do need to trim it down a bit. So I need to take off a 1/2 inch on 2 edges. And which two edges do I do it? For sure, I'm going to do it on one of these edges because this is double-sided. For this, if you want, it's really good to use up some of your pattern paper that you have, you know, because it coordinates. So you need to cut off 1/2 inch off of 2 sides of this paper. Now, on this end, it doesn't much matter which side I do. So I might as well go ahead. I've already trimmed it down. I'll trim it down a little bit more. So now I will take this and cut it down to 5.5 as well. So I'm going to have now a 5.5 by 5.5 piece of paper. Right. I sure do. Correct. Let me make sure, because you know what? This was not exactly, because if you notice here, I'm noticing that this is not true to size. Because, and why I'm telling you that, because that's a 1/2 inch. This little strip is not. Okay. Just a casual observation. Okay. I'm going to put this away. Now I need to score that piece of paper. So I'm going to come through with my new handy dandy score palette. Now lives right next to me because, oh my gosh, having something that I can fit right next to my desk is amazing. I'm very happy. And I'm going to score now at 2 and, no, not at 1, no, 1 3/4. Myra, get it right. Don't get crazy here. That was a waste of breath. And what I should have looked real quick, if I want this to be, which side do I want to be my outside? I want this to be my outside. So I'm going to flip it over because I always fold into the valley. It's a compunction. I mean, it has to be. So, no, wait a minute. I did have it right originally because this was going to be, oh my goodness. It's fine. I had to think. I try not to think, guys, because it hurts. And we'll put this over right over here next to me, although I am done. What did I just see? I think I just saw a hummingbird. Oh! I could see a hummingbird on my fuchsia. But then I'm going to take that 1 3/4 and I'm just going to fold it down right there. I'm going to grab my handy dandy Teflon. This is one of my favorite tools. It gets used about every time I work on something. So now we have the beginnings almost. We have one more score. I take it back. That's why I kept it handy. I have one more score to do, and that's going to be, I love how this thing catapults it. It's like it channels the medieval myth. Bing! It flies, you know, like a catapult. Okay, I have to score this in half. So I'm going to score it because on the 5.5 inch side. So 1/2 is going to be 2 3/4. And there we go. So we have that scored. Now we're putting it away and getting it out of my way. And oh, the door creaked open. I'm like, who's coming in? And it's a cat. So we might be having a cat making a cat meow. Who knows? But can you hear her? That was I think that's Miss Hello, Miss Maisel. What up, Buttercup? I have a kitty that undoubtedly is looking for treats. We'll find out how persistently she wants those treats momentarily. If she hops on the desk, yeah, she wants them pretty bad. Okay, so now I have all of my pieces in the immediate to start the beginnings of this card. So this is my card base, and this is like, I think 100-pound paper I cut down from 12 by 12 from a stack I had from this. I think it is for sure. I'm fairly confident it's a Tuesday morning find because I have a whole pack of 25 of them back in the day when you can get such amazing screaming deals. Oh my gosh, I miss that place so much. So much. I discovered it late in my scrapbooking, but oh my gosh, I miss it. No, but you know, it's like, you know, one of the things that just bit it after the pandemic. Anyway, this is going to go centered on here. So I'm going to be adhering it down. I'm going to use tape because I like to use tape only because it gives me the option to change my mind. And I do that, or if I have to remove it because I made a mistake, which we also do often because heaven forbid I not. And oh my gosh, you know, the cat came in and the door now is ajar and I can smell whatever it is that Natasha is already making for dinner. Oh my goodness, it smells good. And I'm not cooking it, so it even smells better. Because yeah, I'm a crafter, not a cook, people. Kitchen is like, it is like, we have an uneasy truce. It's like, I'm so grateful to have her here right now because she does all the cooking because she loves to cook. Anyway, I'm just going to center this on this panel. And there you go. So that's part of it. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this little piece. But I'm going to make it a little bit easy for me right now. Let me put down the piece that I'm going to put the sentiment on. So let me enter that. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Let me take it back. I had a thought about doing something else, but I think I'm going to leave well enough alone just because. I'm going to cut that little piece, tuck it back in. So this is going to be the back because it folds over in the opposite direction. So I'm just going to put that down, and that's where a sentiment can later on be stamped, because I will stamp some of these myself. I'm going to keep a couple probably, and then the rest will go to donation. Right now I think I've made it cut 12 so that I keep 2, and then 5 go for Cards for Cubs and 5 goes for Cards for Kindness. So that's how I'm thinking. That's the mode I'm in right now. So I've got that done. Now, before I put this all together, let me add some of the embellishment, which is where this piece of paper came in. If you look at the card here, I embossed it. So let me pull out my handy dandy. I have everything stacked here that I used. So, and I think I put it away because why would I? Which is a good thing. No, I didn't put this away. So now where did I put an embossing folder? Give me a second. Let me locomicate it. All right, my friends, I managed to locomicate my embossing folder. This is straight also from the same collection from Crafter's Companion Sarah's signature collection, the Winter Sparkle. It is Frosty Blizzard. It is a 3D embossing folder. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty. And while I was at it, the thing I couldn't locate it because I had left it tucked right in with my spellbinders down on the floor right next to me, and I did that last night. So let alone, needless to say, I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago, let alone last night. So it took me a couple to remember what I had done. But anyway, so we have the lovely, lovely, lovely embossing folder. We have a lovely, lovely piece of white paper. We are going to very quickly here off camera and spritz it, just because that loosens up the fibers and makes it for a much prettier, deeper embossing folder. Although, you can emboss without spritzing as well, depending on your folder. But if you remember, then by all means do it. So with the Spellbinders Platinum 6, all I need for a 3D is my platform base, the embossing folder itself, and then the adapter plate. That's all I need to emboss with this one. So we're going to go and now run it through. There we go. It's like, ooh, but there we go. And if you remember, I didn't turn it, which is why it kind of stuck. You can turn it, you can pivot it a little bit, and that allows things like that to go, because this is a straight on edge. It helps wonk. It's like, okay, I'm done already. All right, so let's take these. I'm going to close this up because that is all the embossing we need to do. I'm going to set this down, not where it goes, but handy to put away later, preferably before I kick or trip on it. And let's see what our lovely I could already tell. Look at that. Look how lovely. I just love, all the detail. It is so pretty. Now, mind you, again, this, I don't understand why if I had a criticism, a detraction to say about this is, why is it not at least 4 1/4 by 5 1/2? It's 5 1/2. Why did they not give us that extra 1/4 inch if they know most of us do these big panels? Although by the same token, how many of us don't trim these down to 4? So maybe they're thinking in advance. I don't know, but if it were me, I would have done it, or even a 5 by 7, because it makes it usable in more than one card. That's just my thinking. Crafter Companion, if you're hearing, girl, that's something. Anyway, so now we have this panel, and I do need to trim it down. But what I know for a fact that I knew then immediately is that, of course, since it doesn't go edge to edge, and I could have made it so easy for me and just brought it to one edge and then had it stuck out on the other side, I'd only be making one cut. But yeah, there you go. Actually, no, because I'm doing a 4 1/8. I remember this now. Hang on, there we go. I leave a little bit of an edge on each side, if I remember correctly. So now I'm going to take it to 4. So I'm only taking 1/8 of an inch off of each side. And then I'm going to cut it in half, because that requires less math than anything else I could do. So now, since it is still a 5 1/2 inch panel, correct? Correct. I'm going to cut it down to 2. I'm going to go down to 2 3/4 because that's the halfway point. Okay. Now, if I use it like this, see, on the 2 ends, yes, I have a margin, but on these 2 ends, I do not. So now I have to do the same thing again. And oh my goodness, I do not take calls for people who are unavailable. And I forgot to turn the ringer on the phone off the phone. I apologize for that, but I have to keep it handy, so I watch for people who are trying to scam Nan. So I now watch the phone. Anyway, so I'm going to take off again 1/8 of an inch on each side, and I feel so bad because these snowflakes are so beautiful. This is such an amazing folder. It's like, oh wow, where were you, baby? You know, it's like, you know, I'm rediscovering as I'm using stuff. That's why I'm still making myself do winter stuff. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and let's trim this one down as well. But I will, so I can get out of that one piece of paper, I can get 2 of these panels. So, you know, I need a lot less of this for these cards. So let me just really quickly, we'll take that edge down. There we go. And we'll set it aside. And there we go. So now I'm going to put that down there. And we now have our panel right here. And I'm going to use the other side because this is identical. This panel right here is identical to the one I used already, but I'm going to use the other one just to see what I can do. So, and it's all decision work because now I'm going to put my sentiment down here and I have that large snowflake. So which way do I go? I actually think, let's see, this is going to be my gut. I'm going to go this way. And we'll see if that was a good decision or not. You never know. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down Big Mama tape because I do. I should probably use more glue, honestly. And I may actually add a dribble just to make sure it sticks because this is very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Dimensional, on a dimensional background. So I want it to stick. But I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to leave it as is. What if I change my mind? Because I never do that. Oh, no. So we're going to, there we go. So now I have that added down. Now we can move on to, I could start assembling, but I'm going to wait a minute. Let me go ahead and let's start doing some stamping here real quick because we do have to do a little bit of stamping. So give me a moment. I'll be right back. People, this is something that was percolating in my brain and never want to be one to leave well enough alone and quit while I'm ahead. I have gone into my stash and I found this background stamp that I got. I'm pretty sure this is like an Amazon find. And just a bunch of snowflakes that I really liked. But it really struck me that I really wanted to do something with the inner back, the panel, the one that we put the sentiment on. So I thought, why don't I stamp it with just a light background of snowflakes, right? Sounds like a plan, man. So I just, you know, if you've seen, I already put my panel, I literally peeled it up. So it's stuck right now to my foam. And then on that note, just to be safe, let me grab a couple of my magnets here and put it down so that it doesn't move. Well, here are the big, I'm looking for the big ones. I go, where are my big ones? They're all over the place except where I need them. But I'm just going to ink this guy up really quick, and then I'm going to, with my Misty, I'm just going to go and stamp the panel. Am I going to get ink undoubtedly on the foam? Yup. Been doing it already for several weeks now, people. I just wipe it off. I take my little bleachy wipe, and it wipes right off. So, yep, I got to press down a little bit harder on this one. And actually, I forget that now that I've wrapped up my lovely magnets in the extra tape to make it look pretty, I bulked them up. So now it kind of like gets in the way where these magnets are made to the size to work with the Misty. I made that inefficient because why not? It's me we're talking about. So let me just go ahead, and that's pretty good. So I'm just going to give it one more stamping. But all the snowflakes are coming out really, really, really nice. But I just wanted to have that little background on the inside. And it's light enough that they're going to be, whoever, you know, sends this card can send it with, okay, that's just little dots there. I wasn't sure if I was missing a snowflake. Can write over it in black ink, and it will still, you'll still see the snowflake background and the black ink as well. Now let me take, where is that beachy wipe that I've been using that I'm about ready to throw in the trash, but meanwhile, until I do, it's like, can you tell it's been like well used? I mean, I use these guys to death until, and particularly now because I'm down to the last like 2 or 3 in that canister, and I won't tell you how many times I've gone to the market, and on my mind is get bleachy wipes, get bleachy wipes, get bleachy wipes, and that's as far as I get is the get bleachy wipes. So I need to replace my canister sooner rather than later. Because I actually went looking in the bathroom. Oh, let's go. Just pull. I'll just steal the one from the bathroom. Except that one was dry. I mean, there you go. No surprise. Okay, there we go. I want to set this back up where it belongs, you know, so that it matches up. I don't know why I'm doing this, because I'm going to now go through and stamp all of them like this. So that was kind of like, you know, a lesson in futility. But now I'm going to pick up, let's pick these guys up for a minute. Whoops, uh-oh, Chongo. And I will set that aside for a moment. We're going to take these guys apart right now, which is, with the tape, see, it's much easier. And I'm going to do this, see, the ink comes right off. So that's why I am not too worried. And when that foamy thing gets dirty, I'll just go buy another thick piece of foam and cut it down the size and put it back in here. Now, whoops, no, stay. We're going to turn around because now we're going to stamp our sentiment, and I'm leaving it right where I stamped the prior one, which is right here. So this is just one of the panels, and I'm just cutting it down to size to each sentiment. So I can actually come down. I'm going to recenter. I'm going to redo the center. I always set it to 5. I don't know why, but there we go. That 5 inches here. And then we'll just put down a couple of magnets. And then now let me come down here. I'm going to come down to the edge. But no, I'm going to come to the left. It's kind of like I'm almost wasting paper, and I feel bad about that. Not bad enough to do something different, but bad. And I'm bringing it down to the edge, a little bit to the left. Call it good. Hope it's straight. I'm going to close it. Right? Yes. And then we're going to go back to our friend. And I'm putting another one here because it wants to lift up. I can tell. There we go. Now I feel safe and secure. Right? Yeah. I'm going to grab my silver. Whoops. Let's grab my card panel here. Whoop. I hear an unhappy 3-year-old out there. Wonder what happened. She's an interesting. That. Zoe is a kick. She really is. She is so cute, but oh my gosh, she has this high-pitched scream that she uses like a weapon, and it hits you in the base of your spine, and you're like, whoa. That's what I remember. Yay, I've been through this already. That's mommy's problem, not Grammy's. So anyway, I've added my silver, and we're just going to use my mini-me. And yeah, it's going to take a couple for sure. This I can tell you, it took the other day, actually last night, when I made the sample, when I was working this up in my brain. It took a couple of stampings to get that done, but it's all good. And I'm deciding not to, on this one, I decided not to emboss it. I probably should. I just don't feel like it. There's something that says don't leave it the way it is. So I'm actually now gonna, and I think possibly is that this ink pad, I'm probably gonna need to replace it because I have been using it a lot. So I think there might be an element of that. Remember, guys, this is just a Daiso ink pad. It's not meant to last for all eternity. There we go. It's just what's wrong with fairy? I don't know. But we're going to re-ink both words because everything else looks just fine. We'll give it one last shot. Yes, let's hope so. And we'll press it down good. Perfect. Okay, I'm good with that. So we're gonna set that aside. Let's get this out of the way. No, wait, give me a second. Let me clean this up and I will come back and we'll finish. Being a woman of many adages, I realized, wait a minute, I still have ink on that stamp before I wipe it all off because later on I have to stamp all the rest of these. I'm like, waste not, want not. So I went ahead and flipped the card over and stamped another one because I'll be using it. Now here I trimmed this down a little bit. So what I did is I'm literally lining up the bottom, and I don't have to. See, oh my gosh, I did that perfectly. I'm lining up, just so you know, I'm lining up my sentiment to the bottom of the guide. And then on the other one, I trimmed it off. So now you'll see, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn it around and do it again, except this time, I'm lining up the top of the letters. And that will give me an even, it'll make it even. So I'm just gonna, there we go, to the tallest letters. And that means it will be the same width both ways. See, I have my perfect little strip. And this one will be the same too, right? Because I did it the same, correct? Correct. So let's take a real quick second. Sorry about that. And I'll go ahead and cut this strip down as well. So it ends up being just under. It's like literally, 7/8 of an inch or 13/16, I swear. of an inch, the strip wide. Okay. And now we'll put it up. We'll set that one aside. We'll set this one because I can get at least one more strip out of that blue piece of paper. So now we are pretty much in assembly mode. We have all of our pieces here. I have this already. Now I have to put my stamped. So is this the one I used? Yes, it is. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to rerun the tape. So now we have this. And now all I need to do is I want to trim this down. And I forgot how big I trimmed this. So give me a second. Let's look at the ruler. And the ruler says 2 3/4. So there we go. We're going to go with what the ruler says. Within, you know, I mean, a little jigger. It's going to be always off by a little bit because it's not the same as this. But close enough for government work, right? Trust me, I have expertise on how the government works, having to deal with the mother of all inefficient government agencies every day with USCIS. Because remember, I'm an immigration paralegal by day and a scrapbooker by afternoons and nights and whenever I'm not dropping dead. Is that? It looks okay. It almost doesn't look straight, but it must be. So now I'm ready to put this puppy together. So let's just grab some of my foam tape right here, because we're going to dimensionalize that just a tiny bit. Whoops, almost knocked Big Mama off her perch. And we're going to snip right there. Put my scissors back, put that back too, so I know where to find it in 5 minutes. And there we go. And then I'm going to take my burnishing tool. This one is one I like to use. And burnish that tape down so it makes it come up easy. And now should I put this? There's a part of me that says put this down first. And then we'll finish because we're down to the wire. This is pretty much it. This is, you know, this isn't rocket science here. So let me go ahead and now apply tape to the back because I want to. I really should use glue. There's a part of me that says use glue. Everybody else uses glue. Why are you using tape? Because I want to. It's just, you know, I'm compelled to use tape. There we go. And we'll go boop, there in the middle. Just because. And then we're going to pretty much center this is what I decided to do. We'll center it more or less up and down, side to side. Not perfectly, actually. And here's the thing I forget. I'm centering it to this edge when visually I've got to center it to this edge. So I got to remember that. The other one I think I didn't. And it looked a little off, but I don't know if anybody noticed it. And there we go. So now that's visually centered. Now all we need to do is remove our lovely little tape piece. Let me just poke it, hopefully. Oh, come on. There we go. It usually wants to come apart, but there we go. It came right up. And now I can grab this. And it's almost like criminal to put down the sentiment and you're covering some of the snowflakes. So I tried to do the minimal I could. But here we go. I'm going to put that down a little bit down on the edge, but you still see the snowflake peeking up over. And that was my thought. And there we go. And now all we have to do is take a moment and poke out all the chad from this baby. So actually what I should do is let's use our removing tool with our little foamy pad. Let's do it the easy way. And there we go. It all comes out fairly quickly, relatively efficiently, except for those that just don't want to. And you're always going to have that. So I'm going to use my tweezers because they're handy. And let's poke out those babies that don't want to come out. And this tells me that I probably should have run it through the die cutter like a couple of times. Because usually if I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, they all just practically fall out. But that's okay. This is like, you know, a few seconds worth of work. Oh, the horror of it all. And now, I have decided, I made the decision when I made this to not back it with another one because I want it to keep that delicate snowflake look, okay? So I am purposefully not adding a second layer. You can do that if you want to reinforce it, but since I'm not gluing it all the way down, it keeps a little bit of it. See how it pops up? It keeps a little bit of its spring. So all I'm going to do is now grab Barely Art, only because it has the more narrow nozzle. And I'm just going to add only glue to the very center and then one little dot like in each of these junction spots right here. So I'm going to leave the points all loose. So we'll just add enough so that it holds it down. Wipe that real quick, and I'm going to add my little pin. I've just made peace with these things are going to always be clogged. I don't care how much you say, oh, that doesn't clog. It clogs. And it's okay. I love the glue, so it's what the heck. Okay, so now I grabbed it with my tweezers, and I'm going to put it not center, like off cattywampusy center, okay? And we will pull, there we go. And since I have one of these very, very handy, that's what I did. We made use of the handy dandy stamp block. We'll toss this away, get magnets out of the way, and we're going to grab, because I wanted to have a little bit of sparkle to this. So I grabbed some of my snowflakes here. So now let me put this stuff away. So let's get some tools out of the way here really quickly. There we go. But I do need this tool back out. Okay. So I think that, it only takes a few seconds for the glue to dry. But see, it sticks out a little bit. It retains a little bit of delicate dimensionality, and I really wanted that. So now we're going to pull out some of our lovely handy-dandy friends here. So I'm going to grab this piece of paper that I can't seem to grab, and I'm just going to sprinkle them right there, because I do not want to sprinkle them on the pad. And it seems like I grabbed all of the same color. Really? There we go. So now I want to put down like several of them. So I know for sure I want to put one in that corner right there, because that's what I did on my original one. Actually, I did it as an afterthought. So we're going to go ahead and put our little dot of glue there. We're going to grab our waxy point here. And since that one is a white or light one, that's absolutely the one I'm going to put here, so that we have more contrast right here. And then I know I want to put one, you know what, maybe I'll put it in the middle of this guy. What the heck, right? So we'll put a little dot there. Let's pick up one of these blue, like blue, purpley, whatever color you want to call it, ones. And I remember I was literally covering some of these guys, so I could either put it over here, or I could literally cover that star, because there's no rhyme or reason to where these snowflakes go, or I could put it right here. Let's do it right here. What the heck, right? And we'll grab one of the silver ones. And then we'll poke that one right there. Oh, it looks really cute. I actually am very happy. Let me just, we'll make it, use the back end of it. Oh, look, multiple use tool. And that's it, guys. It doesn't need a lot of, it makes such a cute card, although I can't stand it. I've been thinking about doing this since I did the other card. I think I'm going to add some silver. I can't leave well enough alone. Heaven to Murgatroyd that I do that. So we're going to go up here. I'm going to put one up here. And you know what I can do? I didn't even think about that. I'm poking. Let me pick these up and see if I can get several of them to come up. Yes, I did. Yay. And then the two that stuck to it. I'm going to grab one. I'm going to put that one in that corner over here. Why not put one in the center? Right? There we go. I feel better about this now. Because I was like super twitching. Oh my God, isn't that awesome? Absolutely. It was the decision, and I'm going to put one over here. So always, you want to put your embellishments in odd numbers, 3s or 5s, but since I've already got, I'm going to leave that as is, although I could, oh my gosh, if I had the tinier ones, I could dot my eye, but I think this one is too big to dot the eye with it. Let's see if it would be, I think it's just too exaggeratedly big. Yeah, it's too big. So we're actually really, really, really are going to, although, wait, because I pulled these out a few minutes ago because I remembered I had them, and these are, ooh, maybe I can dot, let's see, guys. And now I'm dragging this out, and I was trying not to. Famous last words. Let's see, will it look cute if we, oh my gosh, and some of these are transparent. There we go. If we dot the eye, how about that? What does that look like? Oh, I think, what do you think? I like that. We're going to use that little tiny one there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pop that a little dot of glue right there, and I'm going to put it above the dot, because by the time we put this down, it'll cover it, see? And we'll take our pointy bit here and move it around, move it into place. There. I'm twitching less already, except now I have 4 snowflakes, but we're going to call it good. We're going to leave it, because then we have 7, right? 4 and 7, 3 is 7. So there's our odd number. Ah! And there you go, guys. Ah! there's our lovely little simple fun card with the snowflakes. And then in the back is our sentiment. And then or not sentiment, but just stamped, just to add a little bit of interest. But still, it's light enough that when you sign it with black ink, it'll still be fine. Or you stamp above it, it'll still be visible. But they ask for the donation ones. They ask, whoops, let me put that back. Whoops. I gotta watch my finger. They ask that we not stamp the cards, okay? So not put any sentiment on the inside. Let me just take care of that schmutz because it will show up. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. This was just a quickie card. Well, never really quickie with me, but quickie enough. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. Okay, if you enjoyed this, please, by all means, give me a thumbs up and drop me a note. If you want to see more continuing madness, then you know what to do. Subscribe and ring that bell. Come to the dark side. Come to the dark side. I have lots of paper and madness. All right, and meanwhile, I'm going to let you go. So go out there and craft and make something beautiful. And always remember that what you make and what you give brighten someone's day. So go out there and make a difference with your craft, okay? And especially never, ever, ever forget, we're all a little mad here. So come on, craft the madness with me, okay? I'm going to talk to you guys later. Bye!